tell me a little bit about just the specific lens kit and the camera you used on the show, and tell me a little bit about, you know, how do you guys, you and Luke, work together, kind of create an environment that I suspect is fairly 360 for you to shoot in, Adriano.
I chose to shoot it on the Venice in 4K, so it was anamorphic 4K, only with the C series. It was really nice. I mean, I really simplified. Greg Fraser had a much bigger kit. He also had the Panatars that he shot in like 6K or whatever. I didn't want to carry too many different lenses and shooting two different sensor sizes. Also, there was a thing about EPS 1, 2, and 3 that we also replied, because it was the same director, that EPS 1 and 2 would be a little bit more smooth and more relying or betting more on Steadicam and dolly work, and EPS 3 is more handheld, and 8, 9, and 10 follow more or less the same grammar. So 8 and 9 are a little bit more stable and quiet, and then EPS 10 we jumped straight to handheld to enhance the mayhem.
And I love that just the lens choice that you did here in terms of constantly putting foreground and not being sort of inside of characters in clean singles, but more in this kind of overlapping people, and this, which also I think really helps to give this verisimilitude of being sort
and
of
also because also Larry, I felt very kind of again, I have to use this word many times, lucky, because of the fact that Disney and Star Wars, they really want the 2:3:9 aspect ratio.
Yeah,
because that's not usually for the other big streaming players. They don't like that because it's too narrow, it's too squeezed, or whatever they say, or the audience doesn't like it. There's too much, you know, the letterbox is too big or whatever. But for the Star Wars franchise, there's only one aspect ratio, and that's the one.
Luke, in terms of building this set, sometimes the production designer can actually be basically effectively light the set for you if it's coordinated correctly. It's like it gives this incredible fluidity and this ability to see anywhere. If like the coordination between DP and designer can sort of say, how can we basically build the world and put units where they are, put them visibly in the shot.
But yeah, no, I think I don't know, it's partly because it's Star Wars as well, I suppose, Adriano, isn't it? Like a lot of the lighting is built into the sets because it kind of has to be. But
yeah, exactly.
It's also a way I design anyway, I suppose. Like think about that first. It's something we talked about a lot. I think we always probably wanted more, more flexibility, more options. But it was about different fields, like you were saying. Like it's finding something coherent across all of the 7 worlds we're creating, and to tie them together, and yet also finding contrast between them, not just in color, but also in how they're lit and how they're dressed. And so, like you were saying, Ferrix needed to feel more, I don't know, sort of have a strong sense of humanity and collective culture, and whereas Coruscant almost has this kind of fascist monochromatic sterility, and then the prison for me was the brief I set myself in my own head was it was a cross between an abattoir and a laboratory clean room, where the people were basically the thing that went through the mincing machine. And so, you know, it was, I think when that prison started, it was almost like inverting a panopticon. And then I think even Tony in his head was thinking it was going to be a grungy kind of jive in the prison. But but I never saw it that way. I always saw it as being very stark and they were building this thing, and it had to be clean and totally inhumane, and you couldn't hide in it.